Those who don't believe, those who walk the earth in the way that they walk the earth and wrought destruction.
Exactly, and that's the point, and that's what, because remember the mentality. Remember what they've been saying over the past few years since Stephen Lawrence was murdered. They came to the conclusion. Like generations after we did, that this society is institutionally racist, which means that nothing that they've done has considered us, which means everything that they're teaching, everything that we're learning is based on how they teach their own children, their own system.
And everything we're learning is actually detrimental to us then. Exactly.
Everything that we're learning within the state system, within the schooling system, because it's not just state schools, within this education system, within this nation's education system is actually trying to put into us. So they're planting seeds, and that's why it's a plantation just as much as the work is for us. You know, because we talk about our other adults, you know, being on the plantation and going to work, where seeds of filth and indecency are being planted into our minds because of their environment. The school is the real plantation. Wow. Because all of us have been through it. That's why they call them killing fields.
Wow, that
because
puts another
killing
term.
Our minds.
That gives you another understanding to the song "We Plough the Fields and Scatter."
Exactly, because what I thought and what I've learned, and in what I'm learning, brothers and sisters, these are only things that I've been recently learning based on me teaching the children from home, because I've been doing it I've been doing it all my life, or all the lives of the children, but in a formal way, I've been doing it full time for the past year. And I've learnt so many things based on me teaching the children from home, based on me having to teach the children myself from home. I've learnt so much about why we don't have them in the state education system, why even some of the schools that we have are continuing some of the imbalanced systems that they have within the society. Okay.
Well, I hear people on the home education, the home teaching thing. Whenever I mention home teaching, people say, "I couldn't do that." We convince ourselves that we can't do it. We convince ourselves that it's a task too great, too large, too huge for us to even try and tackle.
And I think that's...
So therefore we rationalise sending our children back to those same kidding schools, where those ploughing fields, where we're going to be, piled high deep.
But I think that's part of the problem. It goes back to lack of knowledge of self. Okay. Because mother, which goes to my next point, mother is the first teacher. She's not the only teacher. We're not the only teacher. But brothers and sisters, did you know a nation can rise no higher than its woman? Why? Because the woman is the mother of civilisation. Now, with things like that, and 75% of the work of building a nation is with the female. With the word female, you have fee and male. At the beginning of the male, at the beginning of the person, is the fee, the iron structure that's used to build a nation.
Yeah, Fe represents the chemical symbol of iron. That's what Sister is alluding to.
Thank you. Allahu Akbar. Thank you. And that just goes to show how mighty, how heavy, how weighty our role as women is. Now, all of those things sound so pretty, so lovely, but a huge responsibility goes with them. It's like I was talking to you during the week. I was talking to a brother during the week, brothers and sisters, and I'm reading another book by Minister Ava. I don't remember what it's called, but it's what she's saying that as females, the man doesn't understand the female. He can't comprehend the female. Why? Because we're just too deep for the male. The male represents the conscious. The female represents the subconscious, which is underneath that. It's like with an iceberg, brothers and sisters. Only 1/3 of an iceberg.
It's 1/8, actually, sister.
Is it 1/8?
1/8.
1/8, even smaller. Thank you. 1/8 of an iceberg is what we see above the water, which is the conscious or the male aspect. 7/8. 7/8, the vast majority is under the water, which is subconscious, under the conscious. And she was saying that the reason why the men, you always hear brothers saying, "Oh, I don't understand the female, I don't understand." No, you don't understand.
Telling the truth.
That's right.
We don't.
Because we're too deep.
We're surface people, aren't we?
Exactly.
As males, we tend to go along like a speedboat on the surface, leaving a wake of devastation behind us and never looking behind.
Yeah, like a water boatman. That's what a water boatman insect does. But that's we're too deep. within our nature, and when we're going in accord with our nature, we're just too deep, brothers and sisters. We're too deep.
But are you too deep, or is it just that we as men are, as we just said, surface? We're surface travelers, surface dwellers, and we just don't really want to get into the deep underneath. So we consequently go through our lives meeting these iceberg women and only knowing a small tip, 70, the 1/8 of that female, only ever seen it, not necessarily even understanding that 1/8, much less getting to terms with the 7/8 that is down beneath.
I think, as I was about to say, we're too deep, because within this society we're taught only to look at the physical and material things. So within this society we look at things on a very functional, materialistic level, and we don't look at spiritual and mental and emotional and moral levels, which are deeper. So the male only looks at the female as a physical being. We don't look at the female as divine or as being something that can help you to connect with yourself and help you to understand yourself and your God.
And also with that, without lack of looking into those deep pools of the female, the statement that a nation can rise no higher than its woman becomes just a little line now, because I hear brothers say it all the time, and I see on MySpace brothers, I've sent them emails in regards to, the way our treatment of the female and the way we're displaying the females on our MySpace pages and in our friend lists. And I've sent emails to people reminding brothers that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. But I'm not sure if that statement, that is actually received in the right way, because we are even looking at that on a shallow level.
But I think that's part of it, because just because we know something, it doesn't mean that we're working it. It doesn't mean that we use it. It doesn't mean that we're actually using it in our everyday life. Because I say to myself, considering a nation can rise no higher than its woman, that means that I have to, because it's mathematical. If the nation can rise no higher than its woman, then that means that the female shouldn't be mistreated by the male. Considering a nation can rise no higher than its woman, conclusion, that means that the female shouldn't disrespect herself.
Come on.
Do you hear what I'm saying? So a lot of responsibility comes from that.
Yes, ma'am.
But that's mathematical. And in it being mathematical, in that being a mathematical question and answer, or problem and solution, or ways of looking at things, what ends up happening is, because we're not, because we're very poor at mathematics within this society, we don't, and we're not trained to think for ourselves. Because we're not trained to think, we don't look at a motto or a saying or a divine saying like that.
Maxim.
And maxim, thank you, and start looking at all of the implications of it. Because there are heavyweight implications. Considering a nation can rise no higher than its woman, I am one of those women. What kind of nation am I reflecting? Am I reflecting a nation of God, or am I reflecting of God of a nation of Satan? What am I reflecting? Wow. But that goes back to my conduct, not just what I'm saying. It goes back to my conduct, how I see myself first, and then it goes however I see myself in my mind. That's what comes out in my words and my actions.
Praise is due to Allah, brothers and sisters. When we're issuing those maxims, 3 fingers points back to us. So it points straight back to the person issuing the maxim. A nation can rise no higher than its woman. Then I need to look at myself in that, brothers and sisters. That's how I think we need to take that maxim and bring it into life.
Yeah, and it's about the female, again, being the first teacher. The female being the first teacher. We're the first ones who are starting to draw out, because remember, when the baby's inside of the womb, we're actually writing on that page. My thoughts and my feelings as a female, as the mother of that baby within the womb, is going down into that baby in the womb. So I'm teaching the baby already while the baby's in the womb. Whether I'm teaching them, if I'm feeling negative, it's going down into the baby. If I'm feeling positive, it's going down into the baby. If my husband is treating me in a negative way, it's going down into the baby. If I'm in a negative environment, it's going down into the baby.
So that puts implications on the man then, who's supposed to be guarding the environment.
It puts heavy implications on the man. The female is more important. Listen, a righteous woman's worth is more than rubies. Proverbs, that's from the book of Proverbs. So if you've got a bag full of rubies, brothers, what would you do with them? Your female.
Bling out with them.
Yeah. Your female is more.
Have them imitate the rubies.
The female is more precious than that. We're more